what I'm going to do that in our first video, we'll see that in how to create that in a one server with running that in one website. And I'm considering this is our productions website, so I'm going to create that in one AMI, and with help of that AMI we'll able to configure with help of a load balancer or auto scaling. So that is mandatory for that. Without AMI auto scaling, a load balancer is not going to serve it out. Yeah, and this is very important for like in especially for interview along with clearing the exam also. So just click on that in your instance. This is considered your like in running website, everything is running whatever you need, so far so forth. Click on the actions, and there is a image tab is there. Click on the create image. Yeah, so it will ask that, so we'll say that in my demo AMI, I'll put the my demo AMI. Yeah, that is a name for that. And you can put the date and time as well. 2018 hyphen 07 hyphen 02 on time stamp as well. Because let's say if you are doing that in a productions deployment, and in day you are doing frequent deployment, so you have to use the time stamp. And whatever time stamp is there the latest, it will be go choose that in auto scaling automatically in a load balancer, and it will be run that in a productions. So just choose that and put that in descriptions. And for web server, yeah, and click on the no reboot. This is required, otherwise it will be rebooted. So even though that's fine, if you choose that in no reboot, we are not worried about that in our server is going to boot or not. But if you are doing for your productions, click on that no reboot required. Rest is remaining same, there is nothing required. Click on the create instance, create AMI, and now as it is image will be created along with running one website for these ones. Yeah, we'll be able to see that in our AMI sections within 30 seconds. Yeah, and around more. So the purpose of AMI, we can even though install that in so many software, and we can run that in in AMI, and that will be called that in AWS marketplace. So if you'll see that in at the moment there is a find more than 500 AMI is a popular open source and a commercial software. Yeah, so we have a 500 software running into that in as a AMI. Yeah, and we can use it. We'll see that in WordPress. So now if you'll see that in AMI sections, it's a cloning. So whatever server is there, this server, it will be clone as it is. Yeah. So the cloning, once this is done, then I'll go and kill this server, and then we'll configure the auto scaling, and then we'll start doing that in configuring that in AMI into that in auto scaling, and then server will be started according to the diagram whatever I have drawn it. Yeah, so let's see until unless AMI is running, and we'll understand that in other concept, because it will take a 2 minutes of time. So if you'll come all the way down, we have a one elastic IP address. So I'm going to cover that in this video as well. Yeah, or these sessions. So in elastic IP address is nothing but in a fixed public IP address. Yeah, so far so forth. If you list create that in any server, you will get that in one IP address for that server. Yeah, so if you'll see that this is the public IP address we are getting, but once you'll stop the server and start it, that IP, the public IP address will be changed. Yeah, so your requirement is there. Let's say you don't want to expend the money in a load balancer and other stuff, but you want to a fixed IP address, public IP address. So how we are going to achieve it? With help of a elastic IP address. Yeah, and creating the elastic IP address, just you have to click on the create allocate elastic IP address. You can do by that in a command line in Unix, or like in an supporting Windows and PowerShell command, or we can just click on that in a allocate new elastic IP address and click on the allocate. So you'll get that in a elastic IP address, and we have an opportunity. This elastic IP address will come, and we can associate this IP address. And just what we have to do, we have to find that in instance running. Are you following me? Yeah, so what I have to do, the address is created, but this address I want to allocate to that in our server, and just allocate that in. So once you click it, the running whatever instance is there will get it out, and just click on that in allocate, and once you associated, so whatever's our elastic IP address were there, like in 105, it will be there with our instance. So one of find is associated. So even though our server is going to stop and start, still will have a fixed public IP address, and there is no change on that. So this will become in 1 marks for definitely for an associate level exam. How we are going to get the fixed public IP address with help of a elastic IP address. But if you not associated with any EC2 instance, it will be chargeable. So you have to make sure whatever elastic IP address is there, it is associated with any EC2 instance. Otherwise, it will be chargeable. Is that clear? So now with help of a, earlier I used to access with a different public IP address. Now I'll be able to access with a elastic IP address. Now the difference, you understand it, and there is a no impact onto that in releasing the IP address. Yeah, so what I'll go and again release that in elastic IP address. Let's see again we are getting that in old or not. So click on that in actions and deassociate that in address. So it's released from that in EC2 instance. Again I'll go to that in my EC2 instance, and now if you'll see that we got the some different IP address. So first time you got that in 18.207.102.103. Once we attach that in elastic IP address, we got that in this one, and now we got that in an entirely different. Yeah, so with again, but this with help of this IP also we'll able to run that in our website. Yeah, so there is no problem at all. Yeah, and let's say, so this is all about elastic IP address. Is there any questions on that? No? Okay, all right. Now we'll move into that in AMI, and let's say the AMI is created. So once we create the AMI, the two things will be happen. One, that in name of like in AMI, and second one, it will be created into that in snapshot. Yeah, so once you create that in AMI of any server, it will be create that in AMI, but data will be stored into that in snapshot. With help of this snapshot only, we are going to reuse it. So this will be reusable purpose. AMI will be reusable, and you will go and configure into that in auto scaling and load balancer. So the in these sections we understand how to create that in AMI. Yeah, on basis of if any instance is running. So our instance is running, and we'll able to see that in one website, and we created that in AMI, and that AMI is nothing but just Amazon machine image. Along with that, creating the AMI, one snapshot will be also created. Yeah, so the AMI life cycle will be there. The create the AMI, we can create for like in a spot instance, and we can deregister. So there is no options for deleting the AMI. You have to go and do that in deregister. We can register a new AMI. We can copy the AMI from one AWS account to another AWS account, one AWS region to another AWS region. We can modify image permissions as well. Who is going to assign like in one AWS account to another AWS account, one public account to we can put that in this AMI as a publicly, so anyone can go and download it that in the AMI and they can use it. Yeah, similarly, what are other things we can do? We can tag it out. We can modify the boot volume setting. So what is the root volume? If we'll change it, that will be also done. Yeah, so and along with that in AMI, one snapshot will be created. With help of this snapshot, again we can click on the actions and create the volume, or we can create the image, or again modify the permissions and all, and we can copy from one region to another, one account to that in another account. Just like in a image copy of just a photo state of your running server. Yeah, and we on top of that we learn that in elastic IP address. So elastic IP address is the fixed public IP address, and our requirement is that we don't want to change that in any public IP address into that in any server, because once your server is be stop and their current public address will be released. So once you start it, you will get a new IP address again, and which is very difficult. Let's say in real example, you are running that in one software called Apache, and you have distributed the same IP address to the 200 member in your team. Yeah, and they well aware about with help of this public IP address, I'm going to access that in Apache. But what happened? The server got reboot or a stop and a start. You will get the new IP address, which is very difficult. So in that scenario, we have to go and generate the fixed IP address as a elastic IP address, and then associate with the server, and that elastic IP address you can share with that, which is unchangeable until unless you go and release that in elastic IP address. So this is all about for this. Any questions so far so forth? Okay.